ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for an update video, and hopefully we can keep this one under about half an hour or so, because it's always a bit embarrassing when I'm like, here's a quick update video, and then it goes on for like 45 minutes. Let's try not to do that, so I'll cut to the chase. A few changes around the channel in the near future, by which I mean kind of like immediately, actually. First things first, I'm taking a bit of a break from the two main YouTube series we've got going on at the minute for like the next 2 weeks or so, possibly 3 weeks at a push, but I am going to take a break from them because I'm getting just a bit burned out on them, and I've recognized that now is a good time to take a quick step back for a little while and then come back to them feeling a bit more fresh, because otherwise, if I just keep forcing myself to do it, we'll end up in a situation like we were with Skyrim for a while, where the game becomes chore to play, and frankly a chore for you guys to watch, because you guys definitely noticed when I wasn't enjoying the game, and it made the videos a bit crap. So let's try and avoid that by taking a step back and taking a break. They're both going well, they're both going great. It's just the sheer volume of footage I've had to record recently to keep up with the kind of semi-unofficial schedule I'd set myself was getting a bit too much. I had no kind of buffer in place whatsoever if I ended up having an evening where I'm just like wrapped with a freaking migraine, or I'm just not feeling well, or I'm simply just not feeling in the mood to sit down and record a video or play the game or anything like that. I had nothing to fall back on, so like the last Morrowind video I recorded, I seemed a bit sort of agitated in that. It was because I was recording it with a slamming headache at the time, because I had to get it up that day, and I'd run out of time because I'd been busy making the other videos for that week, and I had this headache, and I was like, I've got to do it, I've got to get this video going anyway, so I tried to make a quick video, like 30 minutes long, and forced myself through it, and it was just really unpleasant. So, I've discussed, like, all of my thoughts behind this at great length with my patrons over on Patreon itself, and also on the patrons Discord and stuff, so we've had a discussion about this with the guys out there. Those of you watching this who directly support the channel, I've already talked this over with you guys, and if you've not noticed, I did put a Patreon post up that explains all of this in great detail and great length. If you can be bothered to read it, if not, that's totally fine. But it's up there, so you guys can have a look through that in more detail if you like, if you're one of my patrons and you're watching this. The same goes for my Twitch subs as well. I'm making some Twitch changes too, but I'll get to that in a bit. So anyway, taking a quick break from that for 2 to 3 weeks. I don't currently at the minute with either of those series have a kind of the old chapter system I used to do with my old LPs, you see, where we would break the LP into chapters so that I could take a break from it and then come back to it, and so on and so forth. I haven't really done that with these two. Morrowind I've split into volumes, but those volumes are huge. And Oblivion has just been non-stop ever since I started it. Or I think we're on like video 54 now or something like that, which is crazy, considering there are roughly an hour long or so each. We must have played about 50 hours or so of that LP without really a break in between so far. And that's great. The Oblivion series is doing really well. It's proved to be way more popular than I ever possibly thought it would be, to be completely honest, for a game that's as old as Oblivion is these days. The subscriber count on the channel has gone up quite dramatically recently, ever since I started doing Oblivion, and that is fantastic. I think we probably would have been at 75,000 already if it weren't for the fact that recently Google deactivated a load of old accounts and my subscriber count went back down again, and that was kind of annoying, but whatever. But I think we're going to be at 75,000 soon. I do have something special planned for when we finally reach 75,000 subscribers, so we're not going to reveal what that is yet. We'll keep that one in the bag. That particular cat is going to stay in its bag for now, okay? Stay in the bag, cat. Anyway, so that's a thing that is happening. Now, I'm not going to completely stop uploading videos for the next 2 or 3 weeks, full stop. Here's the thing. So, and I should also mention, really, part of the reason... But, no, you know what, I'll get to that in a minute. All over the place. This is what happens when you don't make videos with some sort of a script or anything, but never mind. During this sort of 2 to 3 week gap, I want to do a few kind of like special one-off video, little mini-series-y type things if I can. A bit like I did back in the day with Caves of Cud. a bit like I did with the Consuming Shadow, things like that. And only problem is I don't really have very many good ideas, so leave your suggestions below for that if you want to see me do some videos a bit like that over the next couple of weeks. Something that's a bit off-brand from the usual Elder Scrolls heavy RP type thing, something a bit different, something that's a little bit refreshing, hopefully. I've had a couple of suggestions from the patrons in the Discord, which have been pretty good. One of them, which I thought was hilarious and actually would be quite good, and I have acted on this since, was someone suggested The Sims. And I sat there and I thought about that for a minute. I was like, wait, what? The Sims? Really? No, wait, actually, you know, that could actually be quite fun. So I might do that. No promises, but I might do that. I've managed to find a copy of because for some reason you can't get a copy of the original Sims. I'd like to play the first Sims, as opposed to the later ones, which are all bloated to buggery with DLC and online activation stuff, and just no. I'd like to go back and play the original, both for nostalgia's sake and also because I kind of found the original a bit quirky and hilarious in its own way. It's a bit more tongue in cheek and silly. So I'd quite like to go back and play that. Unfortunately, it's really difficult to get your hands on at the moment because, as far as I can tell, anywhere online, you just can't get it anywhere. I think it used to be the case you could buy it on Steam for like £5. Like the full complete collection used to be the case. But since then, it's been removed from Steam, I think. It might have been on GOG instead, but in either case, it's not on either of them anymore. And I even checked Origin. Origin. But I checked it anyway to make sure it wasn't on there as well, and it's not on there either. So, because I don't fancy playing The Sims 3 or The Sims 4, I had to go out there and find a second-hand copy out there on the internet. And I have located one, I have ordered it, and it'll probably get here sometime this week. So, yeah, I might play the bloody Sims. Could be quite funny. Could be bizarre. It probably will be, actually, but it should be quite fun. I've not played the game in many, many long years, so that should be fun. So if you're vaguely interested in that might be a little mini thing I put up. So if you've got other suggestions, even if you'd like to see me do something again that I have done in the past, like Caves of Khud, I'd be willing to give it another bash. So that's fine. So yeah, leave your suggestions below for that. As for other things, let's see. So this ties into my earlier point about taking this break and stuff like that, and the fact that the video output has been a bit too high to keep up with lately without any kind of buffer in place. I've had a lot of questions from you guys on the subject of, for example, when are you going to bring back New Vegas? When are we going to do the next chapter of Fallout New Vegas with Sir David Crumpington and all of his mates? For example. Also, am I going to do that Planescape Torment LP I mentioned? When am I going to do Beyond Skyrim Bruma? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Beyond Skyrim Bruma with Claudius. When am I going to do that? And the answer so far has been, I can't do any of them. All of my time is taken up purely with Morrowind and Oblivion at the minute. And I've kind of realized, that's probably a problem, really. I really ought to maybe dial both of those back slightly if I can, in order to make room for us to be able to do other stuff, like all of those things I just mentioned that you guys do want to see, and I know you want to see because I keep getting messages about it all the time. So that's another reason I think when we finally come back from the couple of weeks break and we do go back to doing Morrowind and Oblivion, I think it will be probably fewer videos a week, or at the very least spread out a bit further across the week. Or maybe I might make the average length of the video a little bit shorter. Instead of doing a 40 minutes to an hour, I might dial it back to like 30 to 40 minutes. Because the thing is, like, it's only 10 minutes less or so on the video, but it actually equates to about 30 minutes less rendering time and less uploading time. So it has a knock-on effect on how long it takes to get this stuff out. You wouldn't think 10 minutes makes much of a difference, but it actually does down the pipeline, so to speak. So that might be something I consider doing. But I would like to make room, basically, in the schedule to do these other things that you guys want to see, like New Vegas, like Bruma, like Planescape, and so on. So that's probably going to be a thing I'm aiming to accomplish somehow. So yeah, right, we're already nearly at 10 minutes. I better speed this up, huh? So yeah, there you go. That's the YouTube video side of things sorted out. I think covered in full. I'm probably forgotten something and we'll remember it after the video. Oh dear. So streaming-wise, I know many of you don't really follow my streams anyway. That's completely fine. But for those of you who do, I'm making a streaming schedule change as well. Part of the reason I'm also not able to do the things that you guys want me to see me do is because the streaming also takes up a huge portion of time during the week. And to that end, I'm shifting the schedule around, and I'm actually dropping one of the streams I do each week. I know this will be an unpopular decision with some, but believe me, it's for the greater good of the channel. The greater good. So essentially how it's going to work is that instead of streaming 4 times a week, I'm going to stream 3 times a week. And it's now going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays that I stream. The reason being that I dropped the Tuesday one so that I have that break in between Monday and Wednesday where I can get some video stuff done. And I'm moving the Saturday stream to Friday because that means I actually get a weekend, which would be just lovely because I don't even get a weekend at this point. It's just non-stop work all 7 days at the moment, unfortunately. So I would like to have that weekend break like a normal human being again. So I'm moving the Saturday stream to Friday. I know that's going to cause time zone issues for people, and I'm really, really sorry about that. But it's for the sake of my own sanity. It really is. In addition, one of the other projects that I've been wanting to do for a while, but have not had the time to do, on top of all those other things, is I've been wanting to do a Dungeons and Dragons series. I have a group of people in mind that some of them fellow LPers and streamers and whatnot who I'd love to run a D&D campaign with. And of course, so far, I've had no time to plan or do anything with this potential D&D campaign. I would love to do it, but lately, as I've said, there's just been no damn time. And if I am to do it, if I am to make the time to be able to plan this out and make it happen, I would require Saturday evenings to actually host the game and actually play the games of it. Which means that I wouldn't be able to stream on Saturday evenings, because it would be recorded for YouTube. It wouldn't be a streamed thing, it would be recorded for YouTube, specifically. The D&D campaign. I have some quite ambitious ideas for how I want to do it too. Like I want to raise the bar a little bit when it comes to production value for that sort of thing, hopefully. But yeah, I would require Saturday evenings to do that, so that's another reason I'm moving the Saturday stream to Friday, just to open up that day in the week for me to be able to potentially do that. So yeah, hopefully my excuse is good enough, guys. I hope they are. This sounds like the language of excuses, Dave. It sort of is. So yeah, that's the streaming schedule changes. If you care about the streaming, if you didn't know that I streamed regularly on Twitch, then congratulations! I stream regularly on Twitch. Feel free to check it out. I'll put a link in the description. Blah blah blah. I currently at the minute we're doing a continuing Dragon Age Origins playthrough, which was streamed on Saturdays. It'll now be streamed on Friday evenings. That's nearly coming close to the end at the minute. Is the Dragon Age playthrough? I need to go back and make sure that all my VODs for it are archived, so that Twitch doesn't go and delete them, so that you can all be watched in posterity. I've stopped bothering to push the VODs to YouTube because I don't like doing it, because they're usually not very good quality. YouTube really butchers the quality of the videos. It really does in the transition from Twitch to YouTube. It's quite nasty, but anyway. So I'm going to make sure those are available to watch. But anyway, we're coming towards the end of the Dragon Age playthrough. That's on Fridays. And on Mondays and Wednesdays at the moment, I have started playing the new Total War Thrones of... what is it called? Total War Sagas? Thrones of Britannia? I think that's it. They do love their convoluted titles, don't they, the guys at Creative Assembly? But anyway, the new one that just came out, the Britannia one, you know, the one with Vikings in it, that one that just came out. I've been playing a bit of that, and to my overwhelming astonishment, it's actually not bad. It's actually quite fun. I've been enjoying myself. I'm notoriously hard to please when it comes to the newer Total War games, but this one seems okay so far. So I've been playing that on the weekdays as well. In addition, I'm going to start a new stream series game, whatever you want to call it as well, and that game is Xenonauts. Been talking about doing this for a little while now, but I'm going to kick it off, I think, this week. Probably tomorrow night, actually. So you can come along for that if you're interested. Now, Xenonauts, if you're not familiar, is essentially a spiritual successor to XCOM. By which I mean old XCOM, not new XCOM. Old XCOM is in 1994 XCOM, and not the new XCOM. Not to say that like I don't like new XCOM or anything. It's just I've seen everyone play it to absolute death, and I can't even bring myself to watch other people play it now because I'm that bored of that game. Xenonauts, on the other hand, I don't think I've ever beaten it myself. I don't think I've ever completed it. I've played it a few times before and mostly failed because it's more like the original XCOM in the sense that it's a lot flipping harder than new XCOM. It doesn't hold your hand nearly as much. It's a lot more dynamic. It's a lot more unforgiving. And I quite enjoy it for that. And if you're completely unfamiliar with either of those, any of these games, essentially the basic concept is aliens are invading planet Earth. You are given a base, some planes, some soldiers, and some scientists, and are told, go stop the aliens. And that's essentially it. It's a turn-based strategy game, which has a real-time world map where you intercept UFOs, shoot them down, and then raid the crash sites with a small army of soldiers. Who you control in turn-based battles and stuff like that, and you have to essentially try and defeat the alien menace before it conquers Earth. And it's renowned for being extremely difficult, and for your precious soldiers constantly dying all the time, especially when you get attached to them and they have names and you know, stuff like that. It's a wonderful series of games. They are brilliant. They make you laugh. They make you cry. They make you rage. They are great. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to playing a bit of Xenonauts. I was almost going to go with Open XCOM, which is like the community remake of the original XCOM, but I decided to go with Xenonauts instead because I did beat the original XCOM back in the day. I haven't beaten Xenonauts yet. So Xenonauts is a bit newer to me, and also it has an updated like, you know, UI and stuff like that that makes it more user friendly to play and stuff. So I'm a bit more interested in giving that a go. But the old veterans have told me that Open XCOM is probably the way to go, so I imagine I'll end up playing that as well at some point in the future. But for now, I'm going to stick with Xenonauts because it's easier to install, and I just know what I'm doing with it a little bit better. I mean, I haven't played the original XCOM in a long time, so anyway, if you're interested in that as well, come along tomorrow and check it out. All my streams are at the same time. They're always at 8 p.m. BST, British Summer Time. There is a widget thing on my Twitch page, which should, if it works properly, and sometimes I admit it doesn't, but if it works properly, it should tell you when the next stream is, with a countdown in your time zone, so you know when it's going to be. I actually do need to update it though, because it's still showing the 4 streams a week at the moment. I think it might even have the wrong time on it for some stupid reason. When the clocks went forward here in the UK, for some reason it totally broke the widget. I still need to try and fix it properly, so I don't even know why I'm directing you to this stupid thing that's broken, but never mind. So anyway, if you're interested in that, come and check it out. I'd love to have you all there. Watching me fail at saving planet Earth. I'm sure it'll be a right old laugh. That's it, guys. I think I've covered everything. He says, knowing full well he probably has forgotten several things that were quite important, but never mind. I managed to keep it to 18 minutes. That's pretty short for me, right? Like, usually these are like 40 minutes long. I end up rambling about all sorts of nonsense. I kept it to like just under 20 minutes. Hooray. Okay, cheers, folks. Thanks for your patience and for your support and all of that good stuff. I will see you again very soon. And have a lovely week, I guess. I'm not very good at saying goodbye in these videos, am I? Bye!